My father made me scrub hotel toilets for 2 years because I refused to be sold in a business deal. I'm Nina. I'm 26. And what I'm about to tell you sounds impossible, but every word is true. For 2 years, I couldn't get hired anywhere. Not because I lacked qualifications. I graduated summa cum laude with a 3.9 GPA in accounting. I had recommendation letters from professors at the Big Four. But my father called every employer and told them I was a thief. He thought he'd broken me. 2 years of rejection, 2 years watching me clean bathrooms. He thought it would bring me crawling back. He had no idea what my grandmother had hidden 15 years ago. He didn't know a CEO had been waiting for me. And he definitely didn't know that one envelope would destroy everything he'd built. The Templeton family looked perfect from the outside. My father Warren owned the largest construction company in our county. Big house on 3 acres. His Mercedes, Mom's Lexus, my brother Chandler's BMW. Mom played her role perfectly. Wedgwood china. Fresh flowers. A smile that never cracked in public. Chandler was 4 years older. The golden child. Everything he touched turned to gold. Everything I touched got questioned. When Chandler wanted to study abroad in London, Dad wrote the check. When I asked 2 years later, he laughed. What for? You'll get married eventually. I went to State University, lived at home, commuted every day. At family dinners, everything was about Chandler. His projects, his future. I passed dishes and cleared plates. When I was 16, I overheard something that changed everything. My parents were in the kitchen, voices low. Daughters don't need to achieve, my father said. They need to learn how to keep a home. Nina will marry well. That's her job. I stood there frozen. That was the first time I understood. In my father's eyes, I wasn't a person with dreams. I was an asset to be managed. The summer before college, my parents gave me a credit card for school supplies. I used it exactly as intended. Textbooks, a second-hand laptop, notebooks. The total over 3 months was $1,200. When the statement arrived, Dad exploded. $1,200. He slammed the paper on the table. Who gave you permission? You did. You said it was for school supplies. I said necessities, not a shopping spree. His eyes went cold. You'll pay back every cent. Or you can find somewhere else to live. I worked 2 part-time jobs for 8 months. Paid back every dollar. But working 25 hours a week meant my degree took 6 years instead of 4. 2 extra years of being reminded I was a burden. I thought once I paid it back, it would be over. Mom found me crying that night. Your father just wants to teach you the value of money. He loves you. I wanted to believe her. The only person who made me feel like I mattered was my grandmother. Millicent Beaumont had built a chain of furniture stores from nothing. 11 locations. Then sold everything and retired wealthy. She was sharp and practical. She saw what was happening in her daughter's marriage. She taught me to read financial statements before I was 12. Knowledge is freedom, Nina. No one can take what's in here. She watched my father carefully. I noticed how her eyes narrowed when he dismissed me. One afternoon when I was 15, she took my hand. Nina, I've already prepared for your future. When the time comes, you'll know. Prepared what, Grandma? Your father can't control everything. Someday you'll need help they won't give you. When that day comes, you'll be ready. I didn't understand. I was 15. 3 years ago, Grandma passed away. I didn't know she'd left me something far more valuable than money. She'd left me a way out. I graduated summa cum laude. 3.9 GPA. Dean's List every semester. The graduation ceremony was in May. I scanned the crowd for my family. They were there, but not watching me. Dad, Mom, and Chandler were laughing together. When my name was called, nobody looked up. Afterward, Dad found me. Nice job. Come work at the company. We need someone to handle the books. My heart lifted. The position is unpaid for the first year. You'll live at home. In a few years when Chandler takes over, you'll be useful. Unpaid. Living at home. Useful to my brother. I'd like to try finding work on my own first. Something behind his eyes went cold. Fine. Try it your way. He walked away. None of them looked back. I had no idea his silence was a declaration of war. The rejections started within weeks. Bradford Associates. Great interview. 2 days later, we've decided to go with another candidate. Then the bank, the insurance company, the property management firm. 15 applications. 15 rejections. One afternoon at Sterling Financial Group, the HR manager paused mid-interview. Miss Templeton, you seem qualified. But I think you should talk to your father. My stomach tightened. Why? Just ask him why no one in this town will hire you. I drove home with shaking hands. That night, I confronted him. I found him in his study with a glass of scotch. Why can't I get a job? He looked up. A small smile played at his mouth. You called them. All of them. He swirled his scotch. I told them the truth. What truth? That I'm a thief? That you stole $1,200 from your own family? That you can't be trusted? I paid that back. Every cent. That's not how I remember it. Dad, those were textbooks. What I remember is my daughter stealing from me. Potential employers deserve to know what kind of person they'd be hiring. My mother appeared, twisting her hands. Warren, maybe. Catherine, this is between me and Nina. She looked away. Why would you do this? He walked around the desk. Because you needed to learn respect. You thought you could make it without this family. Without me. He smiled. Maybe now you understand. You can't. Come home, Mom said. This can all go away. This wasn't about respect. This was about control. Within weeks, I felt the shift everywhere. Neighbors couldn't meet my eyes. Conversations stopped when I walked past. My father had seeded the story throughout his network. Golf buddies, Chamber of Commerce, dinner parties. Troubled daughter. Theft problem. Family trying to cope. In a town where Templeton Construction built half the buildings, his version was the only one that mattered. I ran into Chandler at the coffee shop. Hey, little sister, he called out. Still looking for work? Oh wait, you'd probably steal from the register. His friends snickered. I walked out. That night, I looked at my bank account. $3,000. 2 months before I'd be broke. 2 months before I'd have to crawl back. The Heritage Hotel was hiring housekeeping staff. No experience necessary. No references required. I applied at 2 in the morning. The manager, Sharon Bennett, looked at my application. Accounting degree. 3.9 GPA. And you want to clean hotel rooms? Because no one else will hire me. And I need to eat. She studied me. I don't care what people say. I care whether you show up on time. She slid a uniform across the desk. Shift starts at 6 a.m. Minimum wage. Night shifts. Scrubbing toilets. But it was work. And my father couldn't touch it. 6 months in, my family had dinner at the Heritage Hotel. I was pushing my cart when I heard my father's laugh. Before I could hide, his eyes found me. The uniform. The yellow gloves. His face split into a grin. Catherine, look. Our daughter found her calling. Hey, Nina, Chandler called. You missed a spot in room 204. Diners turned. Whispers started. My father raised his wine glass in a toast. Maybe now you'll finally learn to respect us. I didn't cry. I turned and walked away. But something hardened inside me. 3 weeks later, cleaning out my closet, I found my old phone. I plugged it in. One voicemail. From 3 years ago. Right after Grandma died. Miss Templeton, this is Robert Kingsley from Kingsley and Associates. I'm calling regarding Millicent Beaumont's estate. There are documents that require your attention. 2 years. I'd missed this 2 years ago. Dad had told us she'd left everything to charity. Nothing significant. I called the firm. Mr. Kingsley retired. His cases were transferred. Typing. I see he attempted to reach you multiple times. Your father contacted the office and said you weren't interested. My blood ran cold. Dad had intercepted it. Now I knew there was something he didn't want me to find. A month later, Dad called. Come home. Work at the company. I'll pay you something. Live with us. And the job hunting? Water under the bridge. I'll clear things up. And if I don't, the warmth drained. Then keep scrubbing toilets until you wise up. Mom called separately. Just come home. Stop being stubborn. Chandler texted, give up already. You're embarrassing us. I started applying outside our town, far outside. 2 weeks later, I was restocking supplies when voices drifted from below. Your son's looking to settle down. My daughter needs stability. Merge the families, merge the businesses. Dad's voice. She's the one with the theft thing? That's handled. Another few months and she'll agree to anything, including meeting your boy. An arranged marriage? She'll do what she's told. She won't have any other options. I slid down the wall. He was planning to sell me. I could not stay in this town. I applied everywhere. Chicago, Denver, Atlanta. Rejections piled up. Then the email arrived. Dear Miss Templeton, we would like to invite you for an interview. This will be conducted by our CEO, Mr. Samuel Garrison, personally. Garrison Holdings, the largest financial firm in 3 states. The CEO wanted to meet me? Grandma's voice echoed, when the time comes, you'll know. I replied, I am available at your earliest convenience. 2 days later, I was on a bus wearing a Goodwill suit. $47 in my pocket. Sharon gave me the day off. Go get your life back. The morning of my interview, my phone rang. Dad, I hear you have an interview today. My stomach dropped. How? Chandler follows your social media. Very careless. It doesn't matter. I know people in finance. 1 phone call. Chandler texted, you're done. Dad already called them. I looked up at the tower. Maybe he'd poisoned this too. But I'd come too far. I walked through the door. The lobby was marble and modern art. Designer suits everywhere. Nina Templeton. I have an interview. The receptionist looked up. You're expected. Mr. Garrison will see you personally. 26th floor. This didn't make sense. The elevator rose. 26 floors. An assistant met me. Mr. Garrison is waiting. He's been expecting you for a long time. Expecting me? Samuel Garrison stood by the window. Early 50s. Silver at his temples. But what struck me was his expression. He wasn't looking at me like a candidate. He was looking at me like he'd been waiting years. Miss Templeton, please, sit. Mr. Garrison, I'm not sure. He held up a hand. I need to give you something. He walked to a safe and pulled out a yellowed envelope. On the front, in Grandma's handwriting, only to be opened when Millicent Beaumont has passed away and her granddaughter Nina Templeton comes for an interview at Garrison Holdings. 15 years ago. I was 11. Your grandmother was the first person who believed in me. 20 years ago, I had a business plan and no money. Millicent wrote me a check for $200,000 when every bank said no. He paused. She made me promise. Someday Nina Templeton will apply to your company. When she does, give her this envelope. I set up a flag in our system 15 years ago. Your name, your social. The moment you applied, I was notified. Tears blurred my vision. She'd known. I broke the seal. Inside were 3 items. A letter. Grandma's handwriting. A certificate. Official. Notarized. Certificate of stock ownership. Nina Templeton. 8% founding stake. Garrison Holdings LLC. The room tilted. I don't understand. Samuel sat beside me. When your grandmother invested, she put the shares in trust for you, her 6-year-old granddaughter. Legally yours. Why didn't anyone tell me? The trust was silent until either Millicent passed or you came seeking employment. She designed it that way, so no one could take it from you. Not even your father. The third item was a leather journal. Notes spanning decades. October 1998, Warren screamed at Catherine about spending. March 2002, Warren refused piano lessons for Nina. Waste of money for a girl. June 2008, Warren forbade out-of-state colleges. Page after page. Your grandmother knew exactly what kind of man your father is. She couldn't stop him directly, so she built you an escape route. I was crying. Samuel stepped outside. I opened Grandma's letter. My dearest Nina, I watched your mother marry Warren. I saw the signs, the control, the cruelty. I begged Catherine to leave. She refused. I couldn't save my daughter, but I swore I would save you. From the moment you were born, I saw your spark. Warren couldn't extinguish it. You questioned him. You dreamed beyond his walls. I knew one day he'd try to break you, so I built you insurance. I invested in Samuel's company and put those shares in your name. I knew Warren would try to trap you. I wanted you to have a door he couldn't close. By now, those shares are worth more than enough to build your life. Remember, you don't owe anyone your obedience. Not even family. Especially not family that treats love like a leash. Live free, Nina. That's all I ever wanted. All my love forever. Grandma. When Samuel returned, I'd composed myself. I have to tell you something. Your father called this morning. What did he say? That you're a thief. That you stole from your family. That I shouldn't trust you. And you? I listened. Then I looked at the journal your grandmother left. Her documentation of his behavior. He met my gaze. Then I looked at the certificate proving you own 8% of my company. I stared. Your father just tried to slander a founding shareholder of Garrison Holdings. A small smile. I don't think he's accustomed to that miscalculation. He doesn't know about any of this. No, the trust was sealed. There was no way for him to discover it. I thought about Dad. Smugly confident he destroyed my last chance. For the first time in 2 years, I smiled. There's something I'd like to propose, Samuel said. I'm listening. Next week, we host our annual charity gala. Your father will be there. He's been trying to network his way into contracts with us. He paused. I'd like to introduce you as our new senior financial analyst and as a founding shareholder. Your father will be in the room when he learns who you really are. Part of me wanted to say yes immediately, but I hesitated. I don't want revenge. I don't want to humiliate him. That's not who I want to be. Samuel nodded. Your grandmother said you'd say that. This isn't about revenge. It's about truth. You've spent 2 years being called a thief. Your father controls that narrative because no one's challenged it. He stood. The gala isn't about hurting him. It's about standing in the light. Let people see who you really are. I thought about it. Yes. The Regency ballroom looked like a movie. Crystal chandeliers. Live jazz. Waiters with champagne. I watched from upstairs. The PR team had dressed me. Navy sheath dress. Pearl earrings. Sleek hair. I looked professional. Not like someone scrubbing toilets 3 days ago. Through the window, I spotted my family. Warren entered, chest puffed. Mom in Chanel. Chandler on his phone. I watched Dad work the room. Shaking hands. Laughing too loud. In 20 minutes, everything would change. Ready? The assistant asked. I touched Grandma's letter. Ready. Samuel's voice carried. I'd like to introduce someone special. Someone who represents integrity, perseverance, and courage. That's your cue. I stepped into the ballroom. 200 faces turned. I walked steadily toward the stage, head high. I felt the moment Dad saw me. A sharp breath, a crash of glass. Chandler. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Garrison Holdings' newest senior financial analyst, Miss Nina Templeton. Applause. I reached the stage, turned to face the audience. Warren stood frozen, face white, mouth open. Mom grabbed his arm. Chandler stared at broken glass. I smiled. Calm. Thank you. It's an honor. Then Dad started moving, face twisted with rage. Nina! He pushed past a waiter. What the hell are you doing here? The room went quiet. Security! This woman shouldn't be here. Samuel stepped forward. Mr. Templeton, lower your voice. She's a thief. I told you this morning. Not qualified? Samuel's eyebrow rose. I'm well aware of Miss Templeton's qualifications. I'm also aware you've spent 2 years destroying your daughter's career. The theft you reference was textbooks she paid back in full. Samuel's voice hardened. And I'm aware you've been trying to force her into an arranged marriage for a business partnership. Gasps. Warren's face went white. That's how. Your daughter isn't just an employee. Samuel paused. Nina Templeton owns 8% of this company. She's been a founding shareholder since she was 6 years old. The room erupted. Her grandmother, Millicent Beaumont, invested in this company before anyone else believed in it. She put those shares in Nina's name to protect her from people exactly like you. Dad's mouth opened. Closed. No sound. This is fraud, he shouted. My mother-in-law was senile. The documents have been verified by 3 attorneys. Notarized. Sealed. Filed with the state. There's no ambiguity. I'll sue. For what? Honoring a legal investment made 20 years ago? Mom pushed through. Warren, everyone is watching. He shook her off. You. He pointed at me, finger trembling. After everything I did for you. His voice cracked. I destroyed your career because you needed to learn respect. You needed to understand that daughters don't defy their fathers. The room was silent. I made you clean toilets, he screamed. I made sure no one would hire you. And you know what? I'd do it again because that's what you deserve. Chandler stepped forward. Dad, stop. We should go. Warren shoved him back hard. Chandler stumbled. For the first time, my brother looked at Dad the way I always had. She's nothing. Warren was panting. Her grandmother was a meddling fool. Her shares don't change what she is, a thief, a failure, a disgrace. No one was looking at me anymore. They were all looking at him, finally seeing what I'd always known. I stepped forward. I didn't come here for revenge. I didn't come to humiliate anyone. My voice was steady. But I spent 2 years being called a thief. I was blacklisted from every job. I was mocked. I was told that to survive, I had to surrender my freedom to a man who saw me as property. I looked at Dad. Not with anger. Just clarity. The $1,200 my father calls theft was money he gave me for textbooks. I paid back every cent. I have every receipt. I paused. But even if I hadn't, does that justify 2 years of sabotage? Does that justify arranging my marriage for a business deal? Murmurs. My grandmother saw what I couldn't. She knew what kind of man my father was. She couldn't save my mother, but she found a way to save me. With planning. With legal documents. With love that looked ahead. I turned to Warren. Dad, I don't hate you. But I'm done. I'm done seeking your approval. I'm done accepting your definition of my worth. This is my boundary. I wish you well, but I will not let you control my life anymore. The room erupted in applause. My family left without another word. I watched them go. Dad storming out. Mom hurrying after. Chandler trailing behind. No one stopped them. After they were gone, people approached. The HR director from Sterling Financial Group. Miss Templeton, I owe you an apology. A significant one. She pressed a business card into my hand. When you're ready, I'd like to discuss opportunities. Real ones. Then another person. Then another. Business cards. Handshakes. Quiet apologies. Samuel appeared with water. How are you holding up? I don't know. Still processing. He smiled. The shares, at current valuation, are worth approximately $2.4 million. You'll want to meet with our legal team. $2.4 million. Also, your new office will be ready Monday. If you're still interested. I laughed. Yes. I'm interested. 1 month later, my life looked completely different. I had a corner office. Small, but with a window and a view. My nameplate on the door. I had an apartment. 1 bedroom with a doorman and fresh flowers on the table because I could afford them. I had colleagues who respected my work. A boss who valued my contributions. A career that belonged to me. News about Warren spread through the business community. 3 major contracts canceled within weeks. His company was still standing, but smaller, diminished. Mom called once. Can you forgive us? I forgive you, Mom, but I'm not coming back. She cried. I listened. When she hung up, I felt sad but not guilty. Chandler texted an apology. Generic. Probably PR drafted. I responded, thank you. Maybe someday we'd rebuild something. Maybe not. Warren never reached out. On a Sunday afternoon, I drove to the cemetery. I brought white roses. Sat by Grandma's headstone. You saved me. You saw it coming and you saved me. The wind rustled through the trees. I'll make you proud, Grandma. I promise. I sat until the sun went down. Completely free. Sometimes I take out Grandma's letter and read it again. Live free, Nina. That's all I ever wanted for you. She couldn't have known exactly how things would unfold. But she knew the shape of it. She knew the kind of man Warren was. The kind of trap he'd build. And she spent years quietly constructing a door he couldn't lock. That's love. Not words. Action. If I've learned anything, it's this. The people who truly love you protect you not by controlling you, but by giving you options. By building foundations you can stand on. By trusting you to find your own way. Second, boundaries aren't betrayal. I spent so long feeling guilty for wanting independence. I thought something was wrong with me. There wasn't. There never was. Setting boundaries with toxic family isn't cruelty. It's survival. It's self-respect. It's the first step toward a life that belongs to you. Third, sometimes help comes from unexpected places. A grandmother's foresight. A stranger's kindness. An opportunity you almost didn't take. Keep going. Even when it's dark. Even when every door seems closed. Somewhere, something is being prepared for you. I keep Grandma's letter in my wallet. The paper is soft from handling. Build something that belongs to you. I'm building it, Grandma. Every day. And I'm finally free. That's my story. No magic. No fairy godmother. Just a grandmother who loved me enough to plan ahead and a granddaughter who kept going when it seemed hopeless. If you're stuck in a controlling family, or you've been made to feel worthless by people who should have protected you, I want you to know it can get better. You can get out. But you might have to build your own door. Thanks for listening, and if you liked this story, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to comment and subscribe for more stories about finding freedom when the people who should protect you become the ones you need freedom from. The greatest inheritance you can give someone isn't money, it's the courage to walk away from what no longer serves them.